Right, everyone, let's all take 5. I think we're all feeling a bit frazzled.
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer Interaction. What I'm looking at today is the trailer for Scream of the Werewolf, formerly titled Werewolf Manor. And I like werewolves, one of my favorite movie monsters, and apparently these werewolves are going to be practically realized, which is important to me. I'm not at all a fan of CGI werewolves. I don't think on the whole it works very well. And so to have a movie where the effects are rendered in a practical fashion works really well for me. And apropos of nothing, yesterday I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review forthcoming, though I think that I might have to see it again just to crystallize my thoughts on it. Though I can say now that it's a very messy movie. It's a very good movie, and James Gunn takes some really big swings as both the writer and director. Though it's a very messy movie, narratively speaking. It doesn't make a lot of sense in some ways. And if you've grown up on Marvel as I have, and have particularly liked characters like the High Evolutionary and Warlock, Adam Warlock, you're probably going to be a bit disappointed by it because it doesn't treat either of them that well. I think the High Evolutionary gets off better than Warlock, but still, it's not the best portrayal of either character by my reckoning. And during the casting of that movie, I was surprised to learn that Will Poulter was going to be Adam Warlock. Though seeing the movie, I get it, because Warlock is fairly silly in the movie. And I think, expanding upon what I said earlier, the character in the comics always had a certain gravitas, a certain significance to the way he approached things. And this Warlock does not have it. And James Gunn has a tendency to do this. Well, I'm going to stop talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, save it for my upcoming review, and let's look at the trailer for Scream of the Wolf.
Simeon Altman, writer, raconteur. We seek a lift or directions to the Crimson Manor film set.
Before you go, take this.
Right.
Right, everyone, let's all take 5. I think we're all feeling a bit frazzled, and it's been a very long shoot.
Easy work, innit?
There's a wolf. Where's the wolf?
Well, that was the trailer for Scream of the Wolf, and I think it gets points for having a fully realized practical werewolf. That being said, it's also very clearly a guy in a suit. Now, that's not an insult in and of itself, but the thing is, there are things that filmmakers can do to get away from that, at least so overtly. For instance, if you recall Neil Marshall's Dog Soldiers, he had the werewolves on stilts, which changes their whole appearance and gait. It makes them somewhat beyond human. And I wish that filmmakers would start using such tactics to realize werewolves, at least of the two-legged variety. because what tends to be the case more often than not is that you throw on a not so great looking suit and you call it a day. Though, to be fair, I think lighting is also really important in realizing a practical werewolf and knowing what you're working with, in a sense that those suits, at least based on that trailer, they didn't look great. They weren't terrible, but they weren't great either. And so, if it's not the hero suit, which is probably the best made suit, then you gotta light it or even underlight it. Don't have it quite so blatant, because it just kind of looks silly and like a guy in a suit. It's hard though. You gotta give filmmakers credit. And another thing worth mentioning is that at the beginning you might have seen the logo for Uncorked Entertainment, I think it's called. They tend to release a lot of mediocre movies. Now, I don't think they actually make movies for the most part. What they do is someone makes a movie and they buy it. Now, they have a tendency to buy, let's be honest, crap movies. So I'm not expecting much from Scream of the Wolf. So what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer to Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like or a follow.